So in this video, I want to talk about the remake for Spice and Wolf as it's finally come out. And honestly, it's amazing to have a series like this get a remake because it opens up so many opportunities for other series as well. I mean, there is also Fruits Basket that got a remake as well, so I don't want to say this is the only one that ever got a remake, or is it some big change. It's more. The more animes that get remakes that need a remake, the better, in my opinion, because it opens up that possibility of even other niche animes getting one. And honestly, Spice and Wolf does deserve it, because the original series, from my understanding based on the light novel readers, they always said that in season 2 there was stuff that was skipped, and it is a dated art style. Again, if you like the old art style, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't like it. I want to be very clear there, because the last time I spoke about the art style, which was on X or Twitter, people lost their minds at me. I basically said, hey, I like the new art style. I think people need to stop living in the past and just accept the new art style as it's not going to change. This is what it is. It's time to move on. Like, if you like the old art style, that's fine. But the reality is Passione Studio is the one working on this. It is going to be 25 episodes for the first season, so double core back to back, and my mindset was just, it's time to move on, stop living in the past. But apparently me saying that offended a lot of people. I was called a bunch of names. Corporate Shill was one of them, the more entertaining one that I thought, but most of it was just boring insults and people having massive hissy fits because they have the reading comprehension skills of that of a goldfish. So I'm not surprised. It is X. Most of those kids on there do have some form of reading literacy issues. But at the end of the day, if you like the old art style, that's fine. For me personally, I actually like the new art style. And the reason is simple. It feels more vibrant. It feels more soft, gentle, and it kind of fits that theme of sort of, in my opinion, it's like Freyren or Freeran, but with economics. Now, I know the timelines with which one came first. I know there's going to be a big debate in the comments, but I'm using that as a basis because a lot of people that are probably going to go into Spice and Wolf have probably never watched it before. Some are going to have watched it and are going to go into this as a remake, but a lot of people are going to go into Spice and Wolf as a fresh new experience. So I want to give them something that they've probably have watched and use that as a basis to be like, well, if you liked this, you're going to like this, which is, yeah, however you want to pronounce the anime, Freeran, whatever. It's like that, but with economics. And to be honest, the two main characters actually having some form of a romance, because as much as a certain elf, you know, had a little hero in love with her, she never reciprocated those feelings. So it was like a one-sided romance. While this one is like a proper romance. I know we ain't talking about the two lover birds. That's a little bit different. That's more like them in denial of not accepting their feelings. I have a feeling in season 2 they'll get together, but that's just my opinion. But this has a little bit more of the romance, much more prevalent, I feel like, at least from my understanding of what people have told me and my scattered memories of watching the original, which is great because I'm going into this fresh pretty much, minus a couple of things that I remember. And it's very scattered. But the one thing I really loved, and this is the thing, I can't remember if they did this in the original or not. I don't think they did. At the start of the first episode, they show clearly Holla talking to a young girl, and clearly it's her daughter. Catch the drift. It was very obvious. So they're kind of talking about their past, and that's what I thought was interesting, because I don't remember that being in the original. This is kind of like the foreshadowing of like what is to come, like, oh yes, this is the beginning of our journey together, and how they established the beginnings of this romance, and then they show the end result right at the start as a little bit of storytelling towards the daughter. I love that. I love those little touches, because it shows you, hey, there's a relationship here. It's about the journey, because that's one of the things that I hate about romance animes is a lot of people will drop a romance anime as soon as it's established or whatever. For me, romances are always about the journey, even from start to finish. And I'm not just talking like from when they confess their feelings to each other and get together. No, it's a whole complete package, like the beginning to the end being them being old in a retirement home kind of thing, like them going through the highs and the lows, them meeting each other, them finally realizing their feelings for each other, them confessing their feelings to each other, them getting together, them working through the highs and the lows of their relationship and the trials that come from them going through different ups and downs as a couple, and then them possibly, depending on who they are, having a family, all settling down, etc. I love the whole journey when it comes to romance, but a lot of romance animes cut parts of those out because people just only want certain pockets of it, which is sad because you don't get a complete package. I feel like with this, it's gonna do that. Again, haven't seen the source material, can't remember the old one except pockets of information, but to me, it feels like it's a long, beautiful journey, which is why I refer to Frieren and Frieren based on that, because it's very clear that's what the journey's about. And again, pockets of information that I remember from the last series. So I'm absolutely loving the first episode. I do, again, like the art style more. It was interesting because I made a post on X about it saying, hey, what are people's thoughts about it? And some people did show some parallels, remembering that when Holla kind of shows herself in the original series, she looks a lot thinner and a lot more differently shaped, while the new one, she's got a bit more proportions, and I'm not talking like in the chest area, but a bit more like she's got a bit more meat on her as far as like her structure goes, which I just thought the original art style, and I know this is going to trigger people, so I'm like dancing around it. She just looks kind of really overly thin in the original series when she was naked, while in the new one she's got a little bit more flesh on her, which I kind of thought was a little bit nicer, because it looked weird in the original one. But I know I'm going to trigger some people with that. Again, if you like the old art style, that's fine, but I like what Passion Studios art style is. It just feels very vibrant, very colorful, very soft and gentle, and kind of warming to the heart. But some people apparently say it's soulless, which I think that's just a little bit of a stretch. I feel like that's just someone trying to be a little bit insulting towards the series as a whole. So, as I mentioned before, it is going to be 25 episodes, 2 cores back to back, which I think is phenomenally good as far as the series go, because if you remember, the original series had 2 seasons single core. So what they're trying to do here is they're trying to catch up on what the anime originally covered, and clearly they will do another season with another 2 cores to try and get as far ahead of the anime as possible. So it's crucial that they do. They stick to the source material, they try and get as much through it with these double cores, and I'm not saying like rush through the story, I'm saying like they need as much breathing space. At least it's not like a single core season. Like that would be really bad in my opinion if it was a single core season, because then you'd be doing the whole like, okay, now we've got to wait a year or so before we get the next part, and I think people just lose interest at that point. 2 cores back to back, brilliant idea. Absolutely love it. So I'm really looking forward to it. As I mentioned before, it's an adult cast, adventure, fantasy, historical romance done by Passione Studio, 25 episodes, and apparently it is going to be dubbed as well for English. Honestly, I hope this gets a lot more attention. I think it deserves the attention. But I am also wondering if, because of the fact that it is a little bit more slower paced, some people will probably hate on it as soon as possible. But then you look at how Frieren went, that did phenomenally well. People fell in love with it, and that was a 2 cores as well. So I have a lot of hope that it will get through to the audience that it needs to be to, which is why I'm kind of emphasizing on what it's about, that it is a slow burner. It is a slow series that builds on the world and the characters. And as I mentioned in my previous videos, slow doesn't mean bad. There are series that can be very fast-paced that are good, and there are series that are slow. Spice and Wolf is a slow series. That is a good thing. It is all about building the world, the characters, and everything else that is involved, and I absolutely love it, and I'm looking forward to the economics component of it, because I love economics. Capitalism, baby! Yeah. America. I'm not American, okay? So be quiet. But I just wanted to have a bit of fun there. I love economics. I love how money works. I love how it cycles through the systems. Just those kind of things. So looking forward to watching it. I will most likely talk about it further in the episodes to come. So again, look forward to not just this anime, but also other animes as well on the channel. So if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.